How are we doing, guys? Right, so I thought I'd do a completely unplanned video on this because I'm not going to lie. Stop this before it goes any further. So on YouTube this morning and on a couple of bits on social media, I popped on a picture of this platter, which has been polished, as you can all see. There was a couple of people that commented saying that has this been sanded? It looks like it's been sanded. And a couple of people saying it looks like it's been sanded or it has been sanded. Look, okay, this is just going to set the record straight. It's not aimed at anybody in particular, so please do not think this is aimed at you. This video is just to sort of hit the nail on the head before people start to comment and presume that I have obviously sanded these down. I have not sanded these down. Look, I do videos all the time on people that sand these down and ruin the strobe dots and not as sharp, etc. And why the hell would I go down that route after doing my video saying about how bad it is? Okay, these are a mixture of hand and machine finishing, right? So it goes through the machine, a very light mop, nothing abrasive whatsoever, to be fair, very, very light abrasive. The last thing you want to do is hit anything with Scotch-Brite or any sort of really high abrasive pad. That is where you start to run into issues. The trick with these, I'm not going to tell you how to obviously do this, but the trick with these platters is obviously it's time and persistence. Do not go straight in full board with the heaviest, hardest compound on cloth, sand and block or whatever, because all you're going to end up doing is scratching and removing that nice sharp finish that you have on the platters. It's going to make them round and smooth like everything else that you've seen dotted around the net where people refurbish these platters and turntables in general. So no, I do not sand them. They get machined on a very light mop with some very nice compound that I use. This is the platter that I put on the picture yesterday. The strobe dots are there. They are sharp. It hasn't been finalised yet, so excuse some of the little marks and things that are on here. That's just bits of dirt and flake from my machining. This has been lightly hand polished down. There's going to be another finishing compound going to be going on this by hand just to finalize everything, but as you can see, these are not rounded, guys. You can see quite clearly that the strobe dots are there. As with anything though, I cannot work miracles. So if you look at these two platters, these are another two that I tried. These are a couple of my ones. If you look at these, you see how bad the tops of these are. Now if I really wanted to, I could actually get this out. You see all these markings around the side here. If I put this through the machine, I can remove these. The problem is, what most people do whenever they see things like this, they go, oh, I want to put this straight through, and they put the heaviest compound on, heaviest wheel on, stick it on the full power, eat through it, which is fantastic, but then end up actually warping the texture of the actual aluminium on the platter itself, and that's what misshapes them, and that is what removes the strobe dots. So this has gone over the machine, well, once, with a very light mopping just to remove it. These were coated, all of this that you can see here. You can see there's obviously parts that have this and parts that don't. So you can see where I've gone over on the machine and not. But I'm just showing you this to prove a point more than anything. The strobe dots are there. They're not rounded. Both of these are exactly the same. They're in terrible condition, but you can see where obviously I've gone over these with the machine. 2 or 3 coats. It's going to take, I try to even think, I mean, just doing that to this standard took me about 40 minutes. You can't go fast. You have to build it up in sections and just be bloody careful. Now, there's not a great deal we can do about this. Again, unless you're going to start sanding things down, there's not a great deal you can do. This one here was in relatively good used condition. Very similar to this one, with just a little bit less corrosion on it. But this is practically there. This is going to be going through, again, probably another 15-20 minutes worth of just a hand polish. Use some nice mag polish, I reckon. That's just dirt. Yeah, it's dirt on there. Use some mag polish on this just to get it a little bit more shiny. But this is the extent of how I want things. This is how everything leaves me now. Unless obviously they've spent the last 40,000 years underwater. Do not expect miracles. But I just want to do this video just to prove a point, because before anybody else pipes up on my comments and says that they've been sanded, please guys, they're not. They are machined. Machined and hand finished. So you can already see the difference. I know this isn't the best example to show you, but like I say, I'm proving the point by showing you this because they are in horrific condition. But you can already see that they're shining from one quick go over on the machine. Like I said, 40 minutes is a quick go over on these. Everyone's too tempted to just put it on the full power and go for it. You really cannot do that. You cannot do that. But the trick with this, if you're going to do this at home, and do this using hand tools, there's plenty of videos online that show you how to do this. I mean, Viper Frank's got some good ones, probably all aware of Viper Frank. But the best tip I'll give you is quite simple: auto sole and a microfiber cloth, and just literally keep going over. Make sure you remove all dirt, debris, grime, etc. off of these before you do anything. Make sure you remove the magnets from underneath as well. I'd recommend doing that, or at least cover them up. Mine are covered at the moment, hence why they're still sitting flat. So they're covered so they don't move. If they're going through a machine of any kind, you need to remove that magnet. You need to cover over the central assembly, otherwise you're going to be in a world of pain if you drop it or anything, and you do not want to be doing that. But yeah, auto sole, microfiber cloth, and just take your time, guys. Just take your time. If you want the best possible finish, you need to take your time. If you want it to look like this, it's going to look even better than this when I finish. This is going on a Mark 5, by the way. If you want it to go be the absolute best it can, you need to just take your time with it. Don't rush. These are horrible. They're going to look even better when they're finished. And I was like, these are being wrapped, so you'll see a picture of these wrapped after as well in camouflage. So the tops will be wrapped. These will be a darn sight shinier. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, I thought I'd just do that video just to highlight this, everybody. Again, it's not a rant, it's not a moan. Just a simple video just to explain that I don't sand these down. I wouldn't recommend that anybody do that. All you're going to end up doing is putting yourself in the same boat as every other refurbished turntable that you find online, where you can see the strobe dots are obviously not, they're all flat and horrible. These are not, and you can quite clearly see that now by looking at the video. So a light mop, plenty of compound, hours and hours and hours of going over. That's the extent of what you get, guys. All right, so no more comments, please, stating that they've been sanded. I do not touch Scott-Brite sanding blocks or anything of any description on any platter. That is the most ridiculous thing you can do. So please don't think that I'm doing that, because I do not. All right, guys, end of. Enjoy your day, everybody. Take it easy.